Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today, a bit of, well, kind of clearing up, I guess. Clearing up to do. There's this article courtesy of Cosmic Book News. Cosmic Book News, normally really good, but they've just got this a little bit wrong. So, not only am I just clarifying this for anyone that may have Google searched it, you know, like the new Terminator's name or something like that, but also just to bring it to all of you as an official statement. Now, we know for sure, we'd been told before, but a lot of people are still asking it, what is the new Terminator's name in Terminator Dark Fate? It's called Rev 9, officially. Now, the article courtesy of Cosmic Book News, and again, they're normally really good. I don't know what happened with this. Hopefully they'll change it. But it said, Gabriel Luna reveals new Terminator name from Dark Fate. Character posters have been released for the new Terminator Dark Fate movie, which sees Gabriel Luna revealing the name of the latest cyborg killing machine. But they've quoted it as EV9. It's Rev 9. They literally just chopped off the R. And I'll get to his Instagram page in a second, because again, it's all there. Rev 9 Endo. So this is the endoskeleton part of the Rev 9. Maybe in the film it's called the EV9 part of it, but I mean it's not, because they've just chopped off the R part of it. So it says Rev 9 Endo, one half of the latest, and this I found interesting, advancement in anti-personnel technology. Interesting. What is an anti-personnel technology? What does that mean? I mean, before they were Terminators, weren't they? They were infiltration Terminator units. So I think this part is quite interesting. The latest advancement in anti-personnel technology. Now, obviously, the poster features a version of Gabriel Luna as the new Terminator and says "Choose your fate." There's been a little bit more revealed about it, or at least speculated to be what the Rev 9 is. This is just on a wiki page. Rev 9 is an advanced Terminator sent back in time to terminate Danny Ramos, consisting of traditional solid endoskeleton surrounded by a skin of mimetic polyalloy. In contrast to the similar T-X, Rev 9 possesses the ability to separate these two components into two separate, fully autonomous units, which I guess seems to indicate that there's some level of, I guess, chip or something like that in the endoskeleton part. But like I said, they did get it wrong, and this isn't me trying to call them out. I just I know people have been asking me. So as a result of that, I wanted to clarify the situation, I guess. So it says Rev 9 Endo, one half of the latest advancement in anti-personnel technology. And his Instagram is actually somewhat interesting. There's obviously been all of this stuff courtesy of I think this was Men's Health, if I remember rightly. Good to see him together, good to see him messing about. And then outside of that, there's also, this was revealed, which is a little clip, which I found this one to be interesting. Because if you look at how the arm starts to piece back together, I'll play it and we'll talk about it.
How do we stop this thing?
You don't fight it. You run from it.
So I find that quite interesting. We'll try and play it again, and I'll stop it where I thought the most interesting parts were, shall I?
How do we stop this thing?
That looks like tar, for instance.
You don't fight it.
Quite an interesting take on a Terminator. Rather than the ultra silver alloy looking T-1000, we've got a more tar looking one, which goes hand in hand with the Terminator Genesis aesthetic, I guess, the more blackened look of, well, gunmetal grey, I guess. But what I found interesting is the arm. So as it starts to come down, it almost looks a bit like nanobots, you know? It comes down almost like nanobots look. I don't know, that's what I had from it anyway. You can see it all there as it kind of liquefies into one another. It's an interesting effect.
From it.
Hopefully it looks better in the film, because here it's very wonky. I mean, this is low res anyway, because it is on Instagram, but it's very, very wonky and very rubbery looking. So hopefully it looks better in the film, because they're not so good. And then obviously transitions into live action there rather than the CG. So there you go. I thought I'd just do this brief little update. There's nothing else really on here that is that interesting, that telling as part of it all. I'm just scrolling through now just to have a look. There really isn't that much else here. He's been on set during the filming, and then there's more and more stuff to do with Ghost Rider, because he was Ghost Rider as well. So there you go. Small update, small piece of news. Rev 9. That's the official name, not EV9 or EV9. Again, this was just a misquote by them, because they even include the actual hashtag there, Rev 9. I think it's an interesting one. I think Rev 9 will be interesting to see in the film. It's an interesting take on the Terminator. Where do you progress? They out and out state here very accurately that it's similar to the TX. It almost seems like they've just gone, right, okay, what have we seen before? Right, okay, and then aesthetics from Terminator Genesis. Okay, yep. How can we develop it any further? Right, yes. And then that's kind of how they came up with the Rev 9 unit. Someone also raised something interesting, which I think is important to note, because there's high potential that this could actually be the case, is when we had Terminator Genesis announced, right? Terminator Genesis was planned as 3 movies. So there was an overarching theme or plan in place, or at the very least a storyline, right? And the producer on board, well, one of the main producers, main rights holders for Terminator Genesis, was one of the men, well, for the Terminator franchise, was behind Terminator Genesis and is now also behind Terminator Dark Fate, which I think is why some of the aesthetic has carried over. But, it's purely guesswork and conjecture. But it is interesting to note that maybe some of the story elements have been carried over. Because we see this all the time. We've seen it with, well, Alien franchise is one of the biggest ones. There's constant story elements taken over from concept art to conceptual scripts, which are not made. For those that don't know, it was William Gibson's Alien 3. The elements of spores and things like that were taken into Alien Covenant years and years down the line. So Hollywood is not unknown to consistently just reuse ideas. So I think maybe some of the ideas have been reused. And you've got to remember as well, Terminator Salvation, should I say, was also a movie that was supposed to kickstart a trilogy as well. So they've essentially got 4 story elements or story plot devices there to kind of work over into this new movie, which, if we're looking at Terminator Salvation, for instance, we had the TH, the Terminator Human Hybrid. What is Grace's character? It's an augmented human. A very similar sort of idea, which, if we're looking at Terminator Salvation, could it have progressed to the point where the Resistance had the technology, courtesy of Marcus, to create, hybrid humans? Yeah, that's a very realistic approach. It also makes sense from a narrative perspective. And then if we look at Terminator Genesis, John Connor was dead. So, Salvation, Terminator Genesis moving forwards, Terminator Dark Fate, we've got a new Skynet. There's Legion now, not Skynet. Could this have been a similar thing moving forward in the Terminator Genesis timeline? Yeah, would have made sense as well. So I wouldn't put it past them that some of these ideas have actually been reused. But I thought this was interesting. Thought I just wanted to clarify the Rev 9 sort of comments and stuff like that. And then, sorry, I just went off on a bit of a tangent here towards the end. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about all of this? Let me know down below in the comment section. What do you think about Rev 9? Good idea? Bad idea? What sort of elements about this unit is your favourite, and what do you dislike? I'd really be interested to know, so let me know down below. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Make sure you turn bell notifications on, because a lot of people have not been notified of my content. So it'd be great if you are, if you turn these bell notifications on. Doesn't guarantee you'll be notified, because YouTube sucks. But anyway, I've been Mr. H. Take care.